Okay, we're live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and others. We're doing a sort of a refresh of a HOA we did a year ago, where I tested a 2 GB Chromebook to see if it was feasible to do a Hangout on Air using that small of a device. And apparently it was. Since then, we have learned some things. I found some more controls that I didn't know where they were last time. What you're hearing right now is an Acer 710 2 GB Chromebook that I bought 2 years ago. I'm using the internal camera, I'm using the internal mic, and I'm using the Microsoft headset as the audio output device. Y'all will have to be the judge of what the picture and the sound looks like. This is just to get a baseline for this because I have ordered a new Hisense Chromebook. It's the new one that uses the Rockwell chip. It's $149 from Walmart. We will be testing it next week. My objective is to put together the cheapest machine possible that people could use to run a Hangout on, so that those who have very old machines, rather than having to update an old Windows machine or something, can go out, get a new Chromebook, have it dedicated only for Hangouts. That's the only job that particular Chromebook would have, and see how people can get it. I think I've got it down to around between $200 and $250. But we're going to see how well that new Chromebook works before I actually recommend it. It'll take some testing. But anyway, as I said, this is the baseline to compare that machine to. Hopefully it will be here next Wednesday so we can use it on next Thursday's show. So this is the baseline. Now I'm going to change the input on this from the internal microphone to the Logitech headset, and we'll see what difference that makes. Okay.
Okay, now this is the Logitech headset.
That's a lot louder than the other one was, and it seems to be more clearer.
Yeah, I would expect so, because usually microphones that are built into webcams aren't that great to begin with.
It also doesn't have the background noise the other one did.
Yeah, the other one's got, well, this room is bad for background noise because it's a corner room, so it's got two sets of windows on, two different walls. One of them faces the street where the police are up and down all the time because the police station's just right over on the corner, and there's a park right across the street. So, yeah, I get a lot of ambient room noise that I have to cut out. I can't ever envision using a built-in webcam speaker for anything. Although if we're looking at the cheapest setup to go, if somebody's got a quiet room, they could do it, but I would suggest headset or earbuds anyway, rather than try to mess with the feedback, will come along. So this would, to me, would be the recommended cheapest way right now is some sort of headset or earbuds and a 2 GB Chromebook. It looks like you can hold Hangout on Air on. Now this is wired. I am on Ethernet. I've got a pretty good Ethernet because I tested this thing earlier today, and on Wi-Fi, you couldn't tell whether I was on Wi-Fi or on Ethernet. I don't want to take a chance on unplugging the Ethernet now and killing this, so I'm not going to do that. But it looks like it's a feasible idea. And like I say, I don't know what it's looking like out there, but on the receiving end, if y'all say this is going okay and you make sense of it, and I'm not, real fuzzy or anything, I know moving my hands will be fuzzy. But, do you all think the output is good enough to go watch a HOA done on a set like this?
Can you make it like lighter, not yourself, but the whole? It's like you're in a kind of a dimmer room than you normally are.
Oh yeah, but I was going John, before we turned on, there is no light on in this room at all. This is all the light that's just coming through the windows. Now, I did have, as you know, a lamp in the corner, had the shade off, had the, you know, compact twisty bulb in it, and it reflected off the walls. Well, I replaced that today with one of those clamp lights like Michael has. And I hooked it up to the top shelf of the desk, and it's aimed toward the wall. And when I turn it on, this is what I get. Now, you'll notice it's got sort of a pink-orangish tinge to it. And I think that's because of the bulb that's in there.
If you put a white piece of paper or something in front of it, you'll find out if it changes it, if you have any white piece of paper.
You mean like...
Yeah, anything that's white. It takes it down somewhat.
Yeah. See, I think what it is the actual bulb, because my sister was going to Walmart, and I had her pick it up, and she picked up some bulbs, and she got what we normally use in the house is soft whites. But I think I had a brighter or bluer shade in the lamp. So after this thing tonight, I'm going to switch the bulbs out and put the original bulb from the old lamp in this and see what difference it makes.
Now, mine is a crazy setup. I have no ceiling light whatsoever. The only lights I have is to my left is a window, and to my right is a sliding glass door that has those vertical blind things in it. And I have a desk lamp. The desk lamp has that bulb like you're talking about, and it's got a white kind of a shade thing around it. But I don't have the light pointing at me. It's pointing basically towards the ceiling, which is white. Mm-hmm. And I have, if I just put it towards me, which I can do, it'll be kind of like yours. I'll just do it so you can see what it's like. Well, that's pointing right at me.
Yeah.
And and even though it's pointing at me and it's bright, on the screen I look darker. Whereas if I point it to the ceiling, which is, like I say, it's white, it seems like I'm kind of brighter.
Let's see if that makes any difference. I know one thing I've forgotten to do, because normally when it's nighttime, I also turn on the overhead light, and I don't have it on.
That makes a big difference.
Okay.
Now just your forehead is kind of light, and the rest of you is pinkish.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll switch that bulb out. I'm pretty sure that's what is doing it. You know? But I think you will agree that so far it's an acceptable level. You could do a Hangout on Air like this.
It's better than some I've seen.
Yeah. Yeah, so. I mean, you know, and a lot of it, of course, depends on a person's bandwidth, over which they have practically no control, you know. So now that we have basically proven the concept that it can be done, I'm interested to see what the $140 machine will do next week. Mm-hmm. The next thing was, as you know, there are now 2 Hangout toolboxes. One is the old one. One is the new one that he's working on that you can't do a whole lot with it. In fact, I just discovered today, while you can use it to upload custom lower thirds and use them, there's no way to save them. So they won't be there the next time you use it. But let me do I'm going to do a screen share. First, we're going to take this up full screen. Then we're going to go over here, and we're going to do a screen share. And we're going to do this one. Why is it not wanting to...
Andrew, out of curiosity, on those things that are up at the top, there's that, or up near the top anyway, there's a thing where you can do enhanced, or you can do, you know, focus or warm or whatever. Have you tried switching to those?
Yeah, and it works. I never use them because I always use the original. I either use the original, or if I'm having a really bad hair day, I'll use the smooth. But those are the only two that I really see a need for. I know a lot of people go into a lot of effects on their Hangouts and everything, but I just, the type of Hangouts that I do, I don't see a need for it. Okay. Uh,
I'm just saying, like on mine, if I, depending on what one I use, I could be real white, or I could be, more
oh yeah, but
more
when I do
color and dimmer and stuff like that. So that's why I use the other
when
one.
I use the bright, it just gets ridiculous. Okay. All right. This is the regular Hangout toolbox. Okay. Why is it not coming as we say present to everyone? Why am I not seeing my toolbox? Okay, it's downloading the thing, and if y'all don't have it, it should say that I'm getting ready to use the new toolbox. You can click on it and use it. That's funny. It shows up, but then it doesn't show up.
Let's say here it took me to a thing where
Oh,
I,
there, it's just
There
taking
you
a
go.
while. Yeah, it's just taking a while. Okay, the lower third, like I say, it works, but you can't save it. Yeah, you can put your name in, you can put your tagline in, and display it, but it will
I,
not
I
save.
still see like a screen share thing, many screens going back to a point.
Yeah, you have to watch the. It's because it's only me. And so I'm showing my screen, so you're getting that echo effect. But if you see right here,
Oh, okay.
okay, this is the lower third up here. So if you click that, it'll go on. And of course, I'm screen sharing, so I can't see what's appearing on my screen. But you should see, probably it'll be blue and say Andrew Hatchett. Except, there you go. Now, there should be a lower third on my picture. Now, if you go down here to where it says custom logo and custom overlay. Okay, if you go to custom overlay, it immediately takes you to where your pictures are located so that you can pick a picture to put up there. We'll do this. Well, we're going to put that one up as an example. Okay. Now we turn this on.
It's not changing on my screen. It's showing all those little windows goes back to a point still.
Oh, okay. It probably does. What is showing? Yeah, I'm assuming now you're seeing my picture.
No, I still see those like you're going to do a screen share screens.
Okay.
There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's like 9 of them. They're all going back up into the left corner, left top corner. And below that, I see your name in a black box, and I see John and I.
Okay, hang on.
Film strips.
Let me get out of this.
Now I see just your image.
Okay. That is what I put up as a custom overlay. I can turn it off. Well, this mouse is very, very sensitive.
Okay, now I see you.
Okay, now this is the lower third in the new Hangout toolbox.
Oh, the blue and your white name, right?
Yeah, and you do get to specify the color. You can change the colors to whatever you want. And your picture, of course, comes from your Google profile. If you go down to custom overlay, you can turn that. You can choose one. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. And I have to choose this one because this is the only one I've got on the Chromebook. I say open, then I can, and that's the custom overlay that I chose. The problem with either one of those is there's no way to save it. If you try and use this new Hangout Toolbox, you can get the lower third for that section. You can do a custom overlay for that section. But every time you come back, you have to put them in again. And basically, the custom overlay and lower third are the only things that work in this new Hangout Toolbox. If you click on those icons across the top of it, the little hamburger menu, it doesn't do anything. Clicking on the speaker doesn't do anything. Clicking on the settings doesn't do anything. So basically, you can play some tricks on every section if you wanted to make custom overlays and have a bunch of them in a folder. You could click that custom overlay button and switch between them, but you couldn't have saved presets like you could in the old Hangout Toolbox. He hasn't gotten to that part yet.
Now, when I click that Hangout Toolbox that has QTM after it, all I get's a white box in that corner where it doesn't have it where you can pick lower thirds or whatever. It's just a big white strip.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's just like the other one, except there's nothing on the white part. It's just a white screen. There's no words on it at all.
That is very odd.
Yeah, because mine's working just fine. I've done both. I did the lower third there and picked an amber color, and then I just loaded the custom overlay.
If I do the regular Hangout one, I mean the regular Toolbox, I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's odd, Richard. I wonder why. But, like I said, he's working on this, but it's far, far, far from finished. But if you're willing to take the time, if you want to do some really special effects, like when I was playing with it, I put in a custom overlay from the regular Hangout, had my name across the bottom and everything, and then in the new Hangout, I loaded a custom overlay that I did, but instead of having a lower third, I had it up in the middle at the top, and it showed both of them. You can use both of them at the same time to get some really cool effects if you want to take the time to play with it, But anyway, that is basically, let me close this out and get back to where you can see me. And I'm going to close this Hangout, this toolbox. Wait, which toolbox? That's the toolbox I'm going to close. Okay. And I'm going to take this down and go over so I can see the comments in case anybody else has come in, because I haven't been able to see them.
Russ.
Oh, okay. Russ, right now it will be the settings for, I guess, whatever else is the settings in the old Hangout Toolbox. Like I say, I don't know because right now you click on them and it does nothing, so I really don't know. I'm just assuming that whatever is in the old Hangout Toolbox will eventually work its way over to the new one. I think most of the changes from what I'm seeing so far just appear to be more in appearance and some improved speed and functionality, like where you, I don't know whether it works for everybody else, but like when I click on that custom overlay, since I've changed on the Chromebook, I changed my download location. Instead of being the solid state drive in the Chromebook, I changed it to the external drive. So when I click that custom overlay, it automatically takes me to my external drive where my pictures are located, to the folder my pictures are in. So I can automatically pick one from then. I don't have to worry with going down through a menu to find the picture folder. It just automatically takes me there. Now, I don't know whether that's because of the way I've got the external drive thing set up or whether it's something he's done to the program. I'm not that much of a techie to tell you, how he did that. I just know it can be done. Basically. uh, and Russ, anytime you want to come in, just let me know, and I'll bring you into the film strip. And I don't see anybody else out there right now. I'm hoping that they. So basically, that's what I had for tonight. Anybody got any questions?
It'd take probably a long time to tell you, but basically my daughter's got a XP computer that's old, and it's running like super slow. So I want to get her something else, but she doesn't really want to buy another computer and so forth. So all she does really is she goes on the website. She has a few programs she goes to, or not programs, but places on the web she goes to and logs in, like Facebook and a couple other ones. And so which Chromebook or whatever would you recommend for that? She doesn't do videos or Hangouts or any of that. What would be a good one to use just for going around the internet? And if she needs directions for something, looking that up and so forth.
The first thing I would advise is, get a new computer, because if she's running XP, she's not getting any of the security updates. Microsoft is not supporting any security, so she's leaving herself wide open to being hacked by using XP. So she needs to upgrade something, either her computer to 8 or 8.1 or get a small Chromebook or something. The next thing is, does she run any programs that are required to run on Windows? Because if she does, then she won't be able to use a Chromebox or a Chromebook.
That I don't know. I'd have to ask her. But
yeah. If
and I don't even know if she would know. But
if she's using Photoshop or Word, Microsoft Word. Now there are workaround programs, other programs that you can run on a Chromebook to take the place of those.
She does use Word, and she does use Word. She doesn't use Excel or PowerPoint, but she does use Word.
Richard?
Yeah.
My daughter does just about the same thing. One of my daughters does. And I went out with her when she went, because her laptop had Vista on it. That's how old it was. And she got an HP Beatbox that she paid about $290 for, and it's worked out real well for her. She uses Word every now and then, but most of the time she watches Hulu and Netflix and gets on Facebook and stuff like that, and it's got enough juice in it to take care of what she needs to, and she can put all her music on it. So.
Well, see, I'm hardwired through my router to her computer as it is now. And basically, she prints from her computer to my wireless printer, which is fine, but she also uses my web speed, which is okay. So that part's fine. So I don't know if those things have a hardware capability or not.
They do. Go ahead, Andrew.
If she's using your wireless printer, a Chromebook, you'll have to set up to a cloud printer. It won't work on regular printers. You have to print through the cloud on a Chromebook. Now that can be done, and most of the more modern printers can be set up as cloud printers, but it would depend on exactly what printer you've got, and, the whole thing.
Well, it's a Hewlett-Packard printer, within a year old. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know about cloud printing, to be honest with you.
To tell you the truth, I don't either, because I've got a old printer connected. I've still got one PC, and don't laugh, but it's a running Vista. I've never upgraded anything to 7 or 8 or 8.1. My sister runs 7. But anything that I want printed, I send to myself in email, and then I either go on my tower and print it off to the little printer that I've got connected there, or I send it to my sister and have her print it off on her big printer on her desk for me. It's the way I get around printing on when I'm working on Google. you could do it, you could do it that way too. But yeah, there are inexpensive Windows machine. It depends on how quickly she wants to change, because at this point Windows 10 is coming out, and if she does use programs, and I suspect that she does, if she uses programs that have to run on Windows, then she's going to be, knocked out of the Chromebook market. But there are some reasonably priced Windows machine that can do it. I wouldn't necessarily go for a tablet. I would definitely go
Yeah.
for a laptop rather than
Yeah,
a tablet.
that was my next choice, was a laptop.
Yeah, to me, tablets are, and from what I've heard from most people, they have trouble somewhere along the line. People try and use them as real desktops, and they don't operate that way. You know, they just there's something about them that just it doesn't work that way. But with
They're
Windows
real
coming out,
limited.
yeah, with Windows 10 coming out, that could impact the tablet too, and how it operates and everything. But it just depends. I look at it this way. If I'm, and basically that's what I got into, which when I bought this first little Chromebook, uh, I wanted to see just what it was capable of. Okay, at the time I got it on a Black Friday thing. It was $189. I don't consider spending $200 on a Chromebook wasted, even if I find out I can't use the Chromebook for everything that I do, which I found out I can do most of the stuff on Chromebook. I still can't do my genealogy. There's no program that's as good as the one that I've got on my tower right now, and I don't want to switch from that. But that's the only reason I keep the tower. Anything else, I can find apps and extensions to replace any Windows thing that I do. And I think most people will be able to do that if they'll take the time to do it. A lot of people buy Chromebooks expecting them to work like regular computers, and they don't.
Yeah, my next question is basically I'm debating doing some kind of cooking things and whatever, like videoing it, putting it, doing HOAs or whatever, possibly even a show, I don't know. But I'm right now the only two things I have is either my tablet or my cell phone for taking pictures. I don't have like a regular video camera or any of that. I'm assuming a Chromebook, since it has cameras and I could even attach the camera I have to it, would go to my kitchen to where I could use either a Chromebook or whatever to do that. But I don't know how it is. But I've never used Wi-Fi with a tablet. I mean, for video purposes. So I don't know.
Wi-Fi can be. It depends on your strength of signal to begin with, and then how close you are to the router.
Well, I'll be within 10, 12 feet of the router.
Oh, well, that shouldn't be a big problem then. Or like I say, if you, depending on where your router is, you could get a 50-foot Ethernet cord. I did that just so I could carry my Chromebook all the way to the other end of the living room. I don't use it very often, but I got it.
Yeah, that's what I have going to her computer now. It's my brother made the cable himself, so it's an R45 or whatever. It's a high class cable.
Yeah, and basically they've come down in price. I think I only paid $25 for my 50-foot cable. And used to you paid more than that for them. You paid $10 or $15 for an 8-foot Ethernet cable at one time.
Yeah,
Go ahead, John.
I just got a 100-foot cable off of Amazon, and I paid $11.50 for it.
Oh, so, okay. There you go.
R6. Okay.
Yeah.
So they've come way down. What you don't want to do is go to Best Buy or any place like that, even Walmart. They'll charge you $25, $30 for a 15-foot cable.
I buy most things on Amazon anyway, only because they've always been good to me, so I have no reason not to.
Yeah.
Hey, Andrew. Russ had a question out there a little while ago.
No, Russ, as of yet, he has not put any settings. The only thing that's in the new Hangout toolbox right now is you can do a uh, lower third color, with your name and your tagline, and you can do a custom overlay. You cannot save them. You have to do them each time you come in and everything, and that's the only thing you can do. You can't do settings. You can't do the little hamburger menu, whatever that is. Uh, you can do the mirroring. So the custom overlays and lower thirds you have to do each time, but you can do them. You can mirror them or not, depending on whether you want to or not. But right now, that's the only thing you can do in the new Hangout toolbox. You can't do anything else. So basically, it's a real work in progress. He just put it out there to, I guess basically let people know there was a new one coming. And I imagine at some point the new comment tracker will be put into the new Hangout toolbox, but I'm not going to say that. That's an assumption on my part. He has said nothing about it. So, basically it's for playing tricks right now between the new Hangout box and the old Hangout toolbox. You can get some effects by using both of them at the same time, but that's about it, really. Yeah. So, but yeah, if Richard, if I were your daughter, I'd go ahead and try and tell her to hold off a week, and because that $149 thing from Walmart should be here. I'll be doing a show on it next week, and we'll see what it's capable of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not in any hurry to do that, so it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. But if she's
in fact, she's gone for another week right now anyway.
Yeah. But like I say, if she's running XP, she needs to get something else done pretty quick because she's leaving herself wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's only got 2 gigs of RAM in it for one, which is very low, and it's like it takes forever and a blue moon for something to load on it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because even if you wanted to increase the RAM on it,
I'm having a hard time even finding the RAM for it. They just don't make them anymore.
Yeah, I ran into that on one of mine that I've got stuck back in the closet too. Every once in a while you'll see come up on eBay, but Curio, they're not even listed on their site anymore. Which surprised me. But
I'm even debating a laptop for myself, only because I can take a laptop anywhere, like out in the front yard, and I can video something or whatever,
mm-hmm.
or kitchen or wherever I'm at, I could do it.
Yeah. Sometime later in the season, when it stays lighter a little longer, I'm thinking about trying to do one from the picnic table out in the backyard just to see what'll happen. Yeah. Because I've got fairly strong Wi-Fi, and although I guess I could take and get me a cable extender and get another 100 feet and run 150 feet and run the cable through the house and have Ethernet connected up out in the backyard. But I'm sort of interested in seeing what the Wi-Fi will do. So that's all that I wanted to show anybody. If anybody's got anything they want to show, feel free.
Question, Andrew. Maybe don't know, kind of the, Microsoft is finally getting rid of Internet Explorer.
Yeah.
Do you know what they're going to replace it with?
I do.
Okay.
Basically, it's going to be like if you say you were in an email to Henry, and somebody sent you a picture, you could, from the screen you're on, you can go to the picture and do anything. You can crop it, you can ship it, you can send it up to YouTube. You can you do everything from the screen you're at. It's kind of like I guess Apple, with their system, and a lot of things. It's like if you want to send a picture to somebody, you don't have to click X amount of screens to get different things to come up to do it. You just do it from the screen you're at. Well, this is kind of like that. It's very, very, very social media friendly. I have the original, somewhere in here, I have the original 2-hour show that they had when they introduced it. And that thing will make Internet Explorer and anything else just about ridiculous to use, because it just has everything all in it in one thing, and it'll work with your phone, your tablet, your computer, your whatever. And it's amazing all the things that it'll do right from the screen you're at, whatever screen it is.
What are they calling it?
Windows 10.
It's Windows 10. But
yeah. Then they have a thing that's called, I can't remember the name of it, but it's kind of like what Siri is, where you can tell it to do this and that, like, turn on my camera, turn on my this, turn on my that. But it does a lot more than that, and it does it a lot better. It also, you can tell it to turn your camera on. Just tons of things it does.
Now, I know if you're running 8.1, you're going to get a free upgrade. That's when you're supposed to. Anybody that has the Windows, like Windows 7 now up, is supposed to be able to get it for free. But if you want, I'll give you the link to that thing. It's like I say, it's a 2-hour video if you want to watch it, and it'll show everything it does. When are they releasing that, Richard?
Later in the year. I don't know when. They haven't really said. I'm assuming October or whatever.
Yeah, I think everybody's saying it's going to be around October, but they haven't given a specific release date yet. Yeah.
Russ says he's done an HOA from his iPad on his back deck.
Mm-hmm.
So.
An HOA or just a Hangout?
He says an HOA.
I didn't think you could do HOAs on phones or tablets.
Andrew?
Actually,
without a computer being involved somewhere, like when Ronnie does those ones where he was wherever, somebody there had a computer and he was feeding off of that. But I don't know that you could just do one from a tablet or a phone on, just from scratch.
You can, because Jim Fierce and I did one night. He was on Sunset Boulevard and he had his iPad with him. Now, I was here in Kentucky on my laptop, okay, but he was actually on camera and everything from Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles.
Yeah, but you started it, right?
Right. I started it.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's done, if it started,
If it started with a computer, you can do it, but if
Yeah.
it's not, you can't. You can't initiate it from a tablet or a phone, I don't think.
Yeah.
Did you guys happen to see Google's announcement on Monday that if your smartphone, your web page isn't optimized to your smartphone, you're getting booted off page 1?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Thank goodness my web service automatically optimizes mine.
Yeah. Yeah, the next big thing is going to be when Google starts kicking or stops searching all the pages that are not secure. If you've just got http:// and don't have that secure, I expect in the not too distant future, Google will not even bother to search them. They're almost they're to the point now where they're strongly recommending that you have a secure site. The next step is they're going to start demanding you to have a secure site, and I don't blame them for that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, there's too much junk floating around out there that people can get into.
I saw some deal today on Facebook. They have something called Hello app or something like that. And you can call somebody. You don't even need their phone number. You can call them, and it'll call them. And it's, to me, I would think you'd get a zillion calls from people you don't even want because they don't need your phone number. I mean, you can block them and you can do whatever, but they can still call you until you block them.
Russ says that he and Michael have done ball games from a mobile device.
Yep. Yep. That Michael did it from his phone.
And he said that's how we do Mert's ambush cam.
Yeah. Yeah, but see, now I'll be right up front. See, because when it comes to mobile devices, I don't care. I don't use them. I don't believe they should be used in Hangouts. If you haven't got time to sit down at a proper computer to watch or participate in a Hangout, now if you just want to watch them after they're recorded on mobile devices, that's fine, you know. But I just don't see any sense in somebody trying to ride in the back seat of a taxi take place in a Hangout on Air on a mobile phone. To me, that's just insane, you know. But like I say, I'm old and cranky, and that's just me.
Not you. Okay.
But I will say this: if we didn't have to worry with mobile devices, Hangouts on Air would be a lot easier for everybody, both hosts and participants.
I don't know. I could have swore I've heard Michael say at least 3 or 4 times that you can't start them from a phone. He didn't talk about tablets, but he said you can't start them from a phone. You have to start them from a computer. I've heard him say that, but unless something's changed, which I don't know.
Well, they've done a lot of reconfiguring, haven't they, Andrew, in the last 3 or 4 months?
Yes, they have. They've done an awful lot, and like I say, I don't know anymore whether you can or you can't, because like I say, I believe that whether you can or can't isn't the question. The question is should you or shouldn't you? And in my opinion, the answer is no.
Well, let me give you my opinion. Here's what I think they do. They are pushing the Galaxy S6 now, okay? And before the Galaxy S6 was even out, they decided that's what they were going to do with it. All this configuration they've been doing the last 3 or 4 months is for the next generation of smartphone.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
And no sooner do they get that where they want it, they're going to start work on the Galaxy S7 or 8 or 9 or 10. And if I didn't need some of the stuff I've got on my phone for my business, honestly, all I'd have is a phone. Because the minute they start throwing all these operating system updates in there, if you don't have the latest and greatest phone, all of a sudden your phone starts doing real wonky things.
Yep.
I don't like the fact Samsung took away the SD card and the non-removable battery. I hate that. But I probably would get a Note 4 only because it's got the same type camera and a lot of other things in it. Yet you can change the battery in an SD card.
Well, I read an article here about 3 or 4 months back in a tech magazine that said Ericsson in Sweden is working on a smartphone that should be out within 2 years, and it'll retail for $39, and it will do everything that a Galaxy does or an iPhone does. And that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, that will be interesting to see.
Because the guy that wrote the article said that once that happens, more people in the world will have cell phones than have indoor plumbing.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a thing today. My brother was asking me about giving a tablet just basically to listen to radio or maybe go on the internet and look at something or whatever. And did I know of any device? So I just went to Amazon right off the bat, and they had this tablet. It's called NEU Tab N7, and it's a 7-inch tablet. It only has a 600 or 800 screen. It has a front camera. It's 1 point something, and the back one's 3 megapixels something, but which is for him is fine. But the screens really don't look bad at all. Even they had a game on one of them I saw that like a racing car, and it was going through the thing, and it looked pretty good to me. But it was $49 for the tablet.
Russ says you can't start an HOA from a phone.
Right. You can join a Hangout with a phone or a tablet or mobile device, but you cannot start one from it. Oh, while I've got you here, I've got a question for you. The other day, there was a picture posted of you and Mert at the latest thing where you did the ambush cam things, and it showed you with a UBS portable monitor. Where did you get it? And is it Mac specific, or do they have a Windows version, or do you know? Because that's one thing I've been trying to locate is a portable USB monitor for this Chromebook or this Chromebox. So if you're listening and can let me know one way or the other sometime, I'd appreciate it. Uh-oh, I've got to mute that real quick. Okay. Now that's funny. How have I done that? I've got my screen split, okay? I've got the Hangout on this side, but then I've got the event page on this side so I can see the comments and everything.
Mm-hmm.
The event page is frozen, but the Hangout's not.
Right. The event page, I've got mine the exact opposite. I've got the Hangout on the right side and the event page on the left side, and the event page freezes and unfreezes, freezes and unfreezes. There's a big lag.
Huh. Okay. I just didn't know. I'd never seen that before. You know, it's weird.
Well, you know, when I started my Hangout this morning, it was not showing in Hangouts on Air, but it was showing in YouTube, and then all of a sudden it caught up.
That's wild. You know, because I noticed this morning when I was trying to read the stuff in my different communities, I kept getting a hard time, you know, like I could go to the community and I could read the new ones, but then when I clicked the back arrow to go back to the community page, it would say error loading, you know, try again. And then I try again. The second time it would work. I'd read those, try to go back, error loading, try again. So I don't know whether they were, you know, rolling something out or something, but trying to get back and forth between the communities was just a bear this morning.
It was running slow all over this morning, Andrew.
Amazon, USB. Thank you, Russ.
There's I'm looking right now at there's one that's called the Emerson AOC, and that's $79 at Tiger Direct. There's also another one that's the same brand, but it's $99. I don't know the difference. Asus makes one that's 15.6-inch screen. That's $177. I don't know how much you want to spend, but there are other ones. Most of them are AOC, which is Emerson, or Asus, either one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, now I know, at least now I know where to go look, because I've been looking off and on, but I haven't been trying to dig real deep. And then I saw that and I said, "Oh, Russ knows. I'll ask him." It's nice to have friends.
Especially friends who know. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, friends who don't know are worthless. You know?
Yeah,
I didn't say that. I didn't.
They're a dime a dozen.
My only thing about that is if I'm using a tablet or something, it's different on a Chromebook because you got the USB port there. But on tablets or phones, either one, your charging cable has USB that's away from the phone, and I don't know if you could use that for the monitor, you know, to go to the monitor and use it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing I really love about this new Pixel, because it's got two of those new C-type things, so you
Hmm.
can have one plugged in on one side of it, charging the battery and everything, and you got one on the other side where you can be running it from the Pixel onto a, TV screen or something, and it can be charging at the same time. So, it's really neat to have that.
Russ says there's a 40-second lag.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm running off Ethernet too, Andrew, and I even went upstairs earlier today and rebooted my router just because I thought sometimes it gets wonky like that.
Well, I did the same thing this morning when I was having trouble switching between the communities. At one point, I just stopped. I said, "All right, we're going to shut everything down. I'll reboot the
Hmm.
computers and the router, and we'll see." But it didn't help. It kept going
Yeah.
like that for another hour or so, and then around 11:30, everything got just fine. I've had no trouble the rest of the day. I don't know what was going on.
Are you talking about for HOAs or just going around Google Plus and
No, I've
whatever?
just gone around, just like, because I belong to like 67 communities, so I go to the communities page, and I see all my communities that have all the new messages, and then I just click on that community and go in and read the new messages, and then when I get ready to go back to the community page, it wouldn't reload the communities page. It'd say there's an error, try again. I could try the second time, go to a community. That worked fine. Try and go back to the community page. There's an error. Reload the page. It was always leaving a community and going back to the community page where the problem was. It kept throwing
I
an error
never
for
had
some
any
reason.
problem with that all today.
Yeah. I don't know what was going on this morning, because usually I have no problem at all. Of course, I don't know whether I'm lucky or what, because I hear people talking about a lot of glitches and everything that they have, and I just don't seem to have them, and I don't know why.
Oh, I was going to tell you. I don't know if you saw it, Andrew, but when you told me about that, your settings for the so that they show up on the calendar today.
Uh-huh.
There's one setting I sent you a picture of it, but anyway, there's a thing that says um, automatically add to calendar, which and then there's a second one that says add to the calendar um, and remember it or something after. It was the second choice. I had it on the first one. I never had changed it. I've always had it on there except for when I was doing it today. I noticed nothing was going on there on the calendar for events. They would be on the events page, but not on my calendar. So I switched to the second one, and they all popped on there.
Yeah, and a lot of people have been having trouble with the calendar thing, and it's we're not sure what's doing it because apparently some settings are getting changed and the people are not changing
Yeah, because like I said,
them.
mine was set on the first choice, which was yes, and then the second choice was the one I picked off of your thing, and it came in. So if they picked that second one and not the top one, there's only three choices. So most people are probably on the first one because they just want to add it to the calendar,
Hmm.
and that one isn't the right one now. It's the second one.
Yeah, I found out about those when we were doing that thing that Ronnie did on notifications, the different ways you could get them, and the whole thing. We worked like, what was it? I don't know. It was a long time we worked on testing all the different variables that you could do, if you say no or if you say yes and then you say maybe, and if you have notifications turned on here but not there and the whole thing. That's where I found those settings because actually I didn't even know they existed until then. I'm usually one. I don't go in and do a lot of customization and optimization of settings and stuff. I tend to stick normally with the standard settings unless I've got a valid, really good reason to know that I'm going to be changing it, and that's what I want for my permanent setup. You know.
I took my daughter off of, she was using, for email, she was using Outlook Express, which is no longer even in existence, I don't think. And I switched her over to Google, but when I did that, I mean to Gmail, and when I did that, there's all kinds of settings in there I had to switch so that you could see more than 5 on a page or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
It was like 10 different settings I had to change. And anyway, I got it all set up now, but that was like a deal in itself.
Yeah, I remember when my sister changed from Outlook. It was a bear, man. You know, of course, I never used it that much because I didn't. Well, actually, I didn't use Word that much. I really don't have that much of a need for a full blown, word processing program. Notepad does me just fine. Of course, I'm not typing legal documents or anything either. But
Well, that's one reason I didn't buy her. I mean, I didn't switch computers before because none of them would take Outlook Express anymore. So, and she wanted to use that, so that's why I had to switch her to Gmail. But I'm glad I did now because it's, you know, a done deal. But
yeah, it's amazing to me that so many people try and hang on to a long, outdated program just because they're used to it. I mean, computer programs are like cars. You have to trade them in once every so often. I mean, it's fine to keep a program on your computer, you know, if you're going to dedicate it to the Smithsonian at some time or other. You may want something that runs DOS 6.0, but, most of the time it's not a good idea, especially to keep one after it's officially been discontinued. Those are the ones that I don't understand. You know, if something's been officially discontinued, then I don't want to use it anymore because I'm never going to be able to get help from them again. I may be able to get help from other users, but an official source help, they dry up and they go away. Yeah, it'd be like me trying right now trying to find customer service for my Commodore PET. Well, remember those, the little one-piece thing, type thing. I mean, it's impossible. I don't even know why I keep the machine.
that was the first computer I ever had, was a Commodore 64.
Well, I had the PET, I had the VIC-20, then I had the 64, then I had the 128. And then I switched to the PC. Yeah, but I was a real Commodore fan back then, boy. And it's a shame that 128 didn't get more acceptance than it did because it was a knockout machine. You could make it.
I remember trying to draw a line across a page, and that would take you like 55 steps to do it, and a lot of time. Now you can just go, ping, and it's done.
Uh-huh. Yeah. The machine I always wanted and never did own was the Amiga.
My brother had one of those, and he liked it.
Yeah, I mean, as far as a graphics machine goes, it's still probably one of the best that there is. It was so far ahead of its time. But I just after spending almost $5,000 on a Commodore 128, I just couldn't afford another Amiga. That was it. Well, Russ, if you want to come in, I'm going to stop this live broadcast because I think we've covered everything that I had on the schedule to cover. And like I say, people are not going to sit down and watch a 3-hour video. So let me know if you want to come in or if you just want to, stay out there and watch. But I'm going to stop the live broadcast. Oh, well. You won't stop the live broadcast by clicking on live, will you?
I don't think that'll work.
It's not a good day today in the neighborhood.